The butt. Most humans on this planet have a butt. There's so much stigma around anal play and so much pleasure to be had when you do it right.
This is the Man Up Podcast, a doctor's guide to men's health.
If you've been enjoying listening to our podcast, please hit the subscribe button on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts.
My name is Dr. Kevin Chu, and I'm joined as always with my co-host, Dr. Justin Dubin. This week's episode is titled Rear End Revelations, Talking Butt Stuff with Amy of the Shameless Sex Girls. Justin, this is going to be a great episode, isn't it?
Oh, I'm so excited, and I'm also excited to really introduce Amy Baldwin, who's a friend of ours, recurrent guest. We've both been on their show, The Shameless Sex, which is a phenomenal podcast. They have a phenomenal book. They're doing a tour, so check them out. Amy, go ahead, introduce yourself, say hi to our listeners.
Hey, everyone. I'm Amy Baldwin. Normally, April Lampert of Shameless Sex would be here as well, and she's a little under the weather, so she sends her love. So let's see, nutshell version, nutshell. I am 40 now, just had my 40th birthday. Yay. I also got into the, human sexuality world when I was 18, meaning more the educational field, because I had so many questions. I didn't understand my body, other bodies, orgasms, all the things. And so I already had a knack for talking very openly about sexuality based on my upbringing in Santa Cruz, California, a little different than a lot of other places. And I decided that if I was going to go to school for many years for something that I, really wanted to bring forward in the world, it might as well be something that I loved and was very curious about. So it was sex. I opened up a sex shop when I was, I think, 24 with my mom. April, who is not here, was our manager for the year that the first year we opened, but we were already BFFs. I don't hire other friends, by the way. Don't hire your friends to do things. She's the only friend I've ever hired. I gave her her first vibrator, and I was like, "You will now work at a sex shop." It was consensual, though, everyone, by the way. And then to just fast forward, April and I went on to work representing other adult toy companies, learning a lot about sex toys, about qualities of sex toys, how to use sex toys, all the aspects of sexuality that are related to sex toys. And then we both were constantly learning about sex ed because of pure pleasure, because we had sex educators teaching workshops there every week. And now I still do that again for Shameless Sex. Like, I get free sex ed every week. And then in 2017, April and I decided to start our own podcast. She was going through a divorce, bless her heart, and divorces are very normal, everyone, just so you know, very common. And I was going through one of those like roller coaster relationships with someone that was a bit of a narcissist. And I don't say that as like he was just selfish, like, crazy making stuff. And we started Shameless Sex as a passion project and something that would really just fulfill our hearts based on where we were at in that moment. And then it blew up. So that was 2017. It's now 2025, and we are in the top 5, I'll say, sexuality podcasts in the US. And it is our beautiful little baby that teaches people about sex, relationships, and all the in-between.
Amazing. And it's an amazing podcast. We listen to it. We've been on it. We've learned a lot. It's really wonderful. So thanks for coming on. And
hey, Justin, we really got to work on our origin story.
I know you do.
Ours was just like, hey, we were hanging out like, yo, you want to start a podcast? All right.
Is that what well, that's what we did too, but did you not know each other? Sorry, I'm not the interviewer.
We did.
But...
I mean,
we knew each other. We knew each other.
Yeah.
Okay.
We worked together for 5 years, right?
Oh,
pretty much every day.
Similar. Oh, that's so cute. I love this for you guys.
But great introduction there. That was awesome. So Kevin, get us started here.
All right. So today we're talking, butt stuff. And I think we have to really start by defining what we mean by anal play or butt stuff, because I think it really covers a huge umbrella thing. So Amy, take it away.
All right, the butt. By the way, when you offered for us to talk about this on the show, I was like, oh my God, yes, this is my favorite thing to talk about. And it's not, well, I do love anal play, but the primary reason is I feel like it's a universal orifice. It's not just like I feel that way. We know this. Most humans on this planet have a butt. They have an anus. They have a rectum. They have an anal canal. The doctor's like, yes, we know this. There's so much stigma around anal play and so much pleasure to be had when you do it right. And when I say right, I want to really be clear. Right does not mean everything that I say or what the books say. Like it's different for each person, and so the rightness is when you do it in the way that feels really good for you as the receiver, especially, and for your partner or partners. I don't know if you're having like an anal gangbang or whatever, but like especially for the receiver. So I can talk from both perspectives. I've mostly been a receiver, and I have also been a giver, the term pegging. And I'm really passionate about this because I think a lot of people have curiosity or they've had really bad experiences, right? Like if you, for your doctors, right, maybe
Oh yeah.
y'all don't do anal exams, but your job, if someone comes in and if you had to do some sort of anal exam, is not to help them feel really good and pleasured, right? Yes.
Yeah, no, it's a great point. Actually, we do rectal exams for the prostate exam, which has actually changed over the last few years. So, in the last 6 months or so, from when we're recording, so I'll say within the last year, the guidelines have changed that we don't need to do rectal exams, or it's not
It
mandatory
still plays
anymore
a
for
part,
prostate.
but it's not standard,
Yeah,
right?
It's like
not
when,
standard.
only when it's necessary.
Correct.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But there is very good data suggesting that it is a barrier to entry, not to be punny, for a lot of men. A lot of men don't come to see the doctor in fear of getting an exam of their rectum. So
Right.
this stigma is not just in sexuality. It's really a stigma within everyone's health. So I think you bring up a really good point there.
And to add to that, because you're talking about men in particular, and that's whom you two mostly work with, I
Focus on
believe,
here.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's the like it's gay if there's something in my ass. There's the homophobia is very strong still, which like really surprises me because I have been working in this field as a sex educator since 2008, and I know that's not like that long. And we have come very far. Well, I won't get political, but there's ways we have and none. It was not coming. It was not a pun for coming. Um, and I still see and hear that, if I have something in my ass, then I must be gay. And I like to speak from a perspective for like all bodies, from pussy owner bodies to cock owner bodies, and there's some in between humans, right? And I'm better at speaking for the other, the more popular too. But I would like to acknowledge the in between humans, intersex humans, and still, it's still happening. There still is just this like if I want that finger in my ass, does that make me gay? And I think it can really prevent people from experiencing more immense, profound pleasure. This is for penis owners, right? Well, meanwhile, we live in this world where, for women to take it up the ass, to me is not the sexiest term unless you're using it in like kink play, but to have a consensual anal sex is far more acceptable, yet the anatomy is almost identical and not perfectly right. Like, we're all very different
Mhm.
from like the structure of the color of all the things. But the anatomies are very similar. And in fact, the penis owners have a prostate in there,
Yep.
which is kind of the G spot to like mind blowing transformational orgasms, but they're the ones that have the most stigma or fear around it because then it might make them gay or something.
Yeah, I think everything you're highlighting is incredibly important, and we were going to ask about that later. But since you're on the
Of
topic,
course, I'm just moving.
no, you're
Let's
reading
talk
our
about the
minds.
prostate.
Yeah, well, yeah, we'll talk about the prostate for sure. Is like, so why does anal play for both men and women? And remember, when we're talking about anal play, you're talking about it could be oral, it could be finger, it could be other forms of penetration,
Sex
right?
toys.
Sex
Yeah.
toys. So why does anal play feel good for everyone?
There are so many reasons. One aside from anatomy that I'll name, which is one of the reasons why I got into anal play, and I was okay. Here's my anal play story. I was 17. It was consensual because I was the one that took my partner's cock. Actually, it was consensual for me. I didn't check in with him about it, but like, that was okay because I'm the woman. I'm a feminist, but I also believe in like full consent. Anyways, he was fine. He actually really enjoyed it because all of a sudden I'm taking his cock. I'm only 17 years old, but my brain had seen, or I had seen anal play porn, and I thought it was super hot. And part of that is because I didn't know this then, but I'm into dominant and submissive play. I'm into like power play, some variations of kink, and I didn't realize that was why I was super attracted to that. So I took his cock, put it into my ass, and he was like, again, I'm 17, but it's consensual when I talk about it. I know it's freaking you all out. I graduated early though. Okay, everyone. And he was like, "Oh, wait, this is happening," and I'm like, "This is happening." and it was awesome, great, whatever. And I in a perfect world, I would have asked him before. So don't do what I did. Anyone, no matter what your body is, but if you have pussy cock, whatever, ask the person before. But I'm saying this because for me, it was the taboo. It was, this is naughty, this is dirty, this is bad, this is submissive, this is something that is beyond the norm. And so it
for
made
you,
it
it was the
super
act,
hot.
is what you're saying. It was the act more than actually the play itself that was doing it for you.
Yes. And that's me. And that's a lot of people. And for other folks who are not into all those, role play, whatever dynamics, even though that wasn't actually legitimate role play because I didn't even ask them about it, but sensation, right? The anus itself has so many nerve endings. If everyone listening, if you want to touch your lips, like your actual lips, and just kind of touch and just feel as your finger is touching your lips, the sensation that you can feel. Maybe it's not like super special, but like you can feel something, right? And then imagine someone kissing that though, in a way that you want to be kissed. That's what your asshole can feel like. I know, right? I got you guys with that one. I got you guys.
That was good.
Got him.
If you're watching the YouTube video, me and Kevin,
you got us.
You're all, until she said asshole there, and but so your anus, I'll get all medical for y'all, has a lot of nerve endings, and so it's an area that can feel really good just with a finger or with lips. I personally, if you put your lips on my asshole or anus without touching it with if you put your lips before fingers, it's going to be super ticklish and be like, what are you doing? But the same applies to if you do that with my pussy. As you go in through the anus, right? There's the anal canal, right, doctors? We got the anal canal.
Yeah, that's correct.
Got sphincter muscles super tight. This is generally when people are like, ow, it hurts, doesn't feel good, super uncomfortable, exit only. Guess why? You guys already know the answer. It's designed to keep poop into your body.
Really?
No, yeah. And that doesn't mean that part of your body doesn't have the ability to relax with enough time, lube, intention, love, if that's your thing, whatever, to open up and then allow or take in something consensually deeper. And then when you get through the beautiful anal canal, there's the abyss of the rectum. And the abyss of the rectum is just an opening where I won't go here yet. I won't go full poop on you guys. You can ask me about that later if you want. For penis owners though, the abyss of the rectum, and you all can confirm if this is right. As you get through the tightness of the anal canal, the rectum opens up. But if you move upward, like towards your belly button for penis owners, this is where there is the prostate.
Well, it depends on which way you're bending. It really
because which way your finger's going in. Yeah.
You're going up and in towards
and
the
they're
belly
facing
button.
away from you and they're bent away, it's going down.
It's going towards the belly button though. No matter what, like your finger is, right?
Yes.
I guess so. Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. Yeah,
You're trying to find that belly button through the
You're right. Yeah. They're laying on their back. Like you're picturing them on their back.
Yeah.
And you're going towards the belly button. Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it.
We usually see it the other way as doctors.
In the more medical way.
Are they usually on all fours?
No,
yeah, I mean, Well, not all fours. I tell my
Leaning
patients
forward, leaning
when, yeah,
forward.
when I come in, I say elbows on the table, and that's kind of the position
Yeah,
to
yeah,
assume. Yeah.
yeah,
I know this is not my podcast, but I have a question for you.
yeah, yeah.
Because I know y'all can't make it pleasurable, right? But like how can you make it so that there's something going in their ass and you're like, all right, you have the lube for the things that you're using and
Yeah.
the gloves and all things. But like what tactics do you use to help them? Is it breathing? Is it like
I mean, Justin, you can kind of tell from my way. One of the things I do, and I don't know, I just do this out of habit now, but I usually tell them like take a couple deep breaths. I actually take my finger with the lube, sit it on the external sphincter for a little bit, let it kind of be like, hey, look, you're feeling a little sensation here. Give it a little some time, and then when they take a deep breath in, then I just slowly kind of place it. I don't know, Justin, if you do something.
I do something very similar, and I think the verbal cues is very
Yeah.
important,
Mhm.
and giving them, like preparing them mentally and saying like, "Hey, this is where my hand is." Um, I usually do okay, take a deep breath, 1, 2, 3, and
Yeah.
then it's the same, and then you do it. You say, "Okay, gonna be 2 more seconds or whatever," and then
it's
you're
going to be
done.
uncomfortable?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Um,
and that's a part of it too. Okay, so and I'm not going to correct here because you're both doing a fantastic job. And Justin, you're fabulous, and also Kevin with the like, okay, here it is. Let's hang out for a little bit.
Yeah.
Because if I was teaching anal sex to anyone, regardless of your genitals, and right now we're talking about just like a health thing, which all of us, if we live into like our 40s, 50s, 60s, we will have to have this experience. Uh, and you don't have to do pleasurable anal sex. Ideally, though, it's a muscle that's clenched, right? And regardless of being in the doctor's office or having sex with someone new or someone that you've never had anal sex with, but you've been married to for 10 years, right? Your body is like,
Yeah.
it's tight, and it's tight for a very intelligent, smart reason. And so there's something really powerful about well lube. The ass does not lubricate itself, y'all. That's why when y'all are these lovely doctors are going to do medical exams, they will be highly
lots
lubricated.
of lube, lots of lube.
Lots of lube. I
Urology
pref-
office, lube everywhere.
I prefer
Yeah.
Uber lube, but I don't know if you can have that in your office. But anyways, but like so you're dealing. So there's this orifice that's like it's being tight for a reason. And then you have your emotions. That's like, oh my god, this is and what, whatever. Whether it's the doctor's office or for sex, and so the well lube finger just kind of hanging out on the opening, which is the, like I said, asshole or anus, and then to say like, I'm just going to hang out here. I'm not going to force anything in. I'm going to go really slow, take a deep breath, and then to slowly start to insert, but without like the shoving it in. It might be different for doctors because y'all got like you have other people coming in to see you, other patients. um
No, we're
and
gentle. We're gentle. You can't
Yeah.
be rough. You
oh,
can't
and
be
of
At least
course,
Justin and I are. Yeah.
because you guys are, but like a lot of people experience this with their everyday, general practitioners, where this is
You're right. You're
not.
right. You're right.
And you guys are like, well, yeah, no, we can actually like show up for this. Like we're not, crunching, not number crunching, but time. So here's the thing, and I don't know if you all have time for this, but so as you start to insert the finger, right? No creepy, pokey, long nail fingers. No, like talons. None of
No, we
those.
cut our nails.
Yeah, no, I can see your nails. You guys are good. Uh, and then you start to, well lubed again, press it into the anus, the butthole. And that's when, like you said, Kevin, like inviting some deep breaths. And then you wait for the asshole to open up. It will not all of a sudden just be gave me like, come on in. Like it's not what's happening. Because it takes time. You're working with this muscle that's very intelligent and is waiting to feel warmed up and safe. It's like foreplay, and then your finger will slowly slide in. And for that person who's receiving, it might feel uncomfortable. Even like with you guys, it's going to feel uncomfortable. You're doctors, right? There's like, you're not designed to make them feel pleasure. Even with lovers, even for me, with the partners or lovers that I've had sex with for years, right? This same process can feel uncomfortable. I feel discomfort. That is very different from pain. They're
Right.
different things. Discomfort is like, it's a lot, it's a lot, it's a lot, but I don't feel like tearing, burning. Whereas pain is like tearing, burning, ouch, 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 I'm dying, help, 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 permanent damage, maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
I have so
that
much more to
is
say, but I'll stop.
no, I
That
mean, listen, it's a great intro for approaching.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, that segment right there, every urologist should listen to, because I can't tell you how many patients I've had who say, like, that past urologist I had just gave me the worst rectal exam because they didn't do anything that you said. They
And they
didn't wait.
never want to do anal sex ever for the rest of their lives.
Right. It's completely ruined for them.
Yeah.
It's a really good point. I mean, that's a great tip. Maybe you should come to some conferences for us and
We should just
give
do a
us a
whole
little
seminar on
breakdown.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That'd be
honestly,
kind of
that
cool,
would
actually.
actually be cool. That would
Yeah.
be really cool, actually.
I mean,
It's
if
not a bad
y'all
idea.
taught the doctors to go slower than slow and then slower than that with like anything anal, especially something that has all these taboos that I was talking about earlier, right? It's the most vulnerable part of your body to have someone else inside of you, or well, penetrating is the same thing, right? It's so vulnerable, and yet it's like, wow, exam, and scene. They leave there like, I don't know why anyone would ever like anal sex, and then they come to Shameless Sex.
Well, I think that, like, just to address this point, and Kevin and I did some research or read up on some research. We didn't do the research, but this idea of anal play being taboo is funny because in public, people won't say they want to do it, but in general, they actually do, right? There's a significant portion of adults engage in oral sex and anal sex. Oral anal sex, 35 to 40% of adults with opposite sex partners are engaging. And
Oh,
regarding
opposite
anal,
sex? You're not even
yeah,
including the gay community in that? Oh,
correct, exactly.
wow.
But
Yeah,
that was
you're
the
missing a
study. That was
big.
the study. I'm just
Yeah.
I'm just showing the study.
Yeah.
And then regarding anal related practices, 44% of women in one study reported participating in anal fingering, oral anal contact, or anal intercourse. Among couples in long-term relationships, 22% had engaged in anal sex along with other sexual activities. And a nationally representative survey found that 43% of men and 37% of women reported lifetime anal sex experience. So the
Sorry,
same.
what is
Go ahead.
lifetime anal sex experience?
So I mean, it means in their lifetime they
They've
have
had it done at
experienced.
less.
Oh, they've had
Had
what? At least one.
some kind of anal sex experience. Yeah. So that's
Okay.
literally almost half of men and half of women. And actually more men than women had experienced that in that survey, right?
Yes.
So it really showed that that study also found that adults find various sexual behaviors appealing, including, romantic affectionate acts, and even if they haven't engaged in them yet. So even the people who haven't done it probably would be willing to. And so you listen to all that stuff and all that data, things to take away, right? Almost half of men in their lifetime will engage at least once in some kind of anal activity, more than women. But still almost half of women. And people are interested in engaging in anal sex if they haven't. So, it is taboo, but in the home, in your house, with your family, not with your family, with your friends.
Not.
With
Come
your
on,
partner.
Justin, with some
Oh,
randos. We don't have
gosh.
to make it like a married people only do anal thing.
Like,
Although,
just with in the bedroom, you want to do it.
but
In the
what I will
bedroom,
what
people
I
are
will
thinking
add,
anal.
I will add to what you're saying. Anal sex without protection, meaning condoms, is, and this is from Dan Savage, from other studies that he did not create, but he said this, is you're 18 times more likely to get STIs. It's far more risky. I'm doing air quotes, because this is an orifice that is not self lubricating, right? So even if you don't see like blood, and I don't want to scare people away from anal because I love anal sex in the right times and context, right? But like, you might get tiny fissures, and vaginal sex too, though. This happens as well. This is why STIs are a thing.
Yep.
The receiving person is more likely to get STIs than the giver. And with anal sex, with this part of your body that is not self lubricating, and a lot of people don't know about going slow, taking time, adding the right lube, blah, blah, blah. And so there's truth to it, though. There's truth. Like, it's something that is riskier. It really is. It is riskier. And And I don't think that's why most people are afraid of it, though. They're afraid of the pain and the judgment, not about the STIs and like all the other things that can happen. It's like, this doesn't feel good or won't feel good, or it makes me gay, or let's take it out of the gay community. I'm being objectified. I'm not a powerful woman now because I took it in the ass.
No,
I love that you bring up the STI thing, because that is really important. And that's something that I know Justin and I tell our patients who engage in any sort of anal sex, that protection is very important. The friction and the small fissures, it's more prevalent there. And that does put you at a little bit more of an increased risk.
Yeah. And it doesn't mean like you don't have to do anal, but you can use condoms, right? Or become fluid bonded with the person you're having sex with, where you get tested beforehand, use a lot of lube. And also, some people just want to take a lot of big risks, and these things aren't really their top priority. But if the whole stigma around anal sex being like the nasty, dirty thing is great, because it's great for what Justin said, like the taboo. It's fantastic for that. And there are ways to make it really pleasurable and safe while still feeling the naughty, dirty, bad, gross. Wow. Looking for the perfect night out with your badass self, your friends, or maybe an inspirational date night? Attention all friends in Austin, Dallas, and Santa Cruz. Shameless Sex will be in you for our Who's Your Daddy tour. Join us in May for a night of edutainment where sex ed meets comedy, play, and sexy immersive experiences. Think of your favorite variety show, but Shameless Sex style, with special guests who will blow your minds.
Be prepared to experience something unlike anything else. Trust us, you'll leave with some great and possibly sexy memories that you'll want to hold forever. And you'll probably be holding some of our favorite sex toys in your hands. Get your tickets now at shamelesssex.com because it is selling out. Plus, if you book a VIP limited seat, you'll get a bunch of sex toys guaranteed, and you'll be sitting front row. It's going to sell out, so stop what you're doing right now and get your tickets at shamelesssex.com.
So actually, something just came up from this discussion that we're having right now. So, can you have anal play or anal sex spontaneously? Or is this something you got to prepare for? I don't know.
The answer is yes and no. Because it depends how you define anal sex, right? I've had actually my current partner, I won't say his name on air, but hopefully you guys will meet him someday. He's fabulous.
Cool.
Nasty, wild man. Love him to death. And he was a fanboy of my podcast. We've been together for fanboy and together for over 5.5 years. And our very first date, we flirted, hung out, had some like wine and cheese at 4 p.m, but I couldn't go on an actual public date because I was watching my terrible ex-partner's dog who was sick. I know, weird, right? Yeah, I was addicted to a narcissist in the back in the day. Anyways, so he's like, okay, super chill. But he had listened to the podcast episodes to try to help his marriage. There was no anal in that marriage, by the way. And I'm not saying anal needs to be in marriage or all relationships. Everyone chooses for themselves. If you're like a hard no to anal, be a hard no to anal. Like, you don't have to change that. I just think a lot of people are a hard no because of what they've heard or have had really bad experiences, and with the right partners, it can be more about whatever. Anyways, first date. And this is not how I'd like a first date to go, by the way. Like, a lot of things were really great, but we went in the hot tub, and then we went into my my house and made out for a while. And, he did like the foreplay things, and then he went right for my ass with his lips, and I was like, "Oh, he's a fanboy." I don't think I've ever said this in a podcast, because I haven't. I never ever have said that.
Well,
I may have.
You didn't say it on your podcast though, so you're fine.
Exactly, but so I don't. Yeah, we talk about this to this day. I was like, so what inspired you to actually do that? Anyways, blah blah blah. It felt ticklish. It felt, but there was no penetration. It was his lips on my ass. So coming back to your question, I think putting something inside an orifice in general, whether it's a pussy or an ass, but especially the ass, because that is a tighter muscle, but it applies to the pussy as well. Should it happen on a first date? Sure. If everyone involved is a yes, and there's enough time for the receiving orifice to be like, yes, please, and to relax and open up enough. Would I recommend it for most first dates? No, I would not, because generally that takes a lot of time, and the receiving orifice needs, meaning the person who owns that orifice, needs to feel very safe and connected in some way, like not like you're gonna ruin their life with this part of their body that's so delicate. And yeah, so would I recommend it for first date? Yes and no. Mostly
Right.
no.
Well, I think this also leads to another natural question. If you are someone who's interested in doing some kind of anal penetration with your partner, what's an appropriate, is there a prep you should be
Yeah.
doing? Is
Yeah.
there some kind of exercise activity, any dietary things? Like, I think
Squats.
people
Just kidding.
people actually take this serious, right? People are very uncomfortable and they're
Totally.
they're excited though at the same time. So, what's the best approach to trying any anal play for the first time?
Yeah. Okay. So I'll take this example beyond the story I shared, because there wasn't all the opportunity. And by the way, I did say that's not really working for me. Can we you wash your mouth and then make out with me on my lips? Thank you. Because it's the ass. So and it was clean. We went in a hot tub. Blah blah blah. That's just my standard. Anyways,
Fine.
um, so I think of anal play, again, very similar to vaginal play with a new partner. Warm up, and not everyone, not every man, woman, whomever needs a bunch of let me feel special and relaxed and all the things. And a lot of people do, and I think more pussy owners need that than men, right? And the way to tell, unless y'all took Viagra or Cialis, because then we have no idea if you're turned on or not. But say you didn't and your cock is hard, we can tell you're aroused. It's a lot harder to tell with a pussy, like, are you aroused or turned on? This is why conversations are really great. Also paying attention to their the flushness in their face. And then if you're, down in the pussy bits, you can see if are the lips, meaning the more so the puffy part of the lips, the labia, I want to say majora, sorry, the outer labia are more engorged. They might be wet. There might be fluid coming out. There also might not be. I know you guys talk about this because of all kinds of things with stress or whatever. So many reasons why pussies are not wet. And let's bring this to cocks too, right? So just because the cock is hard doesn't mean it's touch my ass, right? So if this was a new partner or even and actually let me separate them. I'll go to, can I go to, what do you think? A new partner first and then long-term relationship, like a new
Well, I
first
mean,
time
I
anal?
feel like typically most people are trying to do this, and it seems long term, but I don't know.
Okay.
You tell me. But
So let's start with long-term then. Okay. So we've been together for 3 years. We've never done anal. We kind of talked about it maybe a little bit. It seemed like you were maybe. You're like, I don't know. I had this experience once. I didn't really like it. And you're like, and this could be from both perspectives, the receiver or the giver, because you might be surprised about how many women want to get fucked in the ass. And you also might be surprised about how many women are hard fucking no to ever doing that. So what I would do is say, hey, babe, I listened to this podcast. It's called the Man Up Podcast. It's with Dr. Doobie and Dr. Kevin Chu. And there's weird, wacky woman from Shameless Sex podcast. Yeah, by the way, you should follow her and buy her book. Go to her retreats and her events. She was talking about anal. And you don't have to say all that, but I either saw or heard something that inspired me to feel turned on about trying anal sex, whether I'm the giver or receiver. There's something about it that seems hot. Don't listen to what I said with all of it before, but I heard or saw something. Maybe it's porn, right? Or maybe it's just spank bang. I just had a fantasy. And there's something about it sounds really hot and I'd like to try it. What do you think? Would you be open to it? And then if they say, I've tried it, it was bad or terrible, then do not push them to make it happen, because that's coercion. And you could invite them to be a little more, I guess, open with you about well, what about that didn't feel good? What happened, or what was that like? And I want to respect your no. And what if we listen to some educational podcasts like this one, or we have plenty on Shameless Sex, about anal sex, and then we started really slow with just not even like penetration with fingers, with toys, mouths. And if you are a no right away, then yes, we'll never do that. Or also, if we do that and you're a no, we'll never do that. Like, we don't even have to try. But like, what if we just listened and learned and talked about it to see what's available? That's not even the step you were talking about,
Yeah,
right?
no, but
Yeah.
that's the important step. That's probably the most important step with anything that we've talked about. Is a continuous theme of this podcast, your podcast, is communication, right? You can't just do things and think it's going to be okay when you're doing it with another person. You have to explain things and give them your thoughts, why you want to do things, and how that can impact your relationship. It turns you on. You really enjoy it. You would picture each other doing it together. That I think is an angle that I think a lot of partners would enjoy hearing from any perspective.
I think it could pave the way for more safe, enjoyable exploration, right? Because that partner is the receiving partner, whether you're the cock or maybe the cock is going to be penetrated, or the cock that's doing the penetrating, or you're, the other ass is going to be penetrated. You're hearing, let's learn, let's go slow. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And we're not even going to talk about people with anal fetishes where it might be a really important thing for them. That could be a whole different podcast. But like, if someone is afraid and you're saying, let's learn and go really slow, and I'm not set on anything in particular happening, that can open up the doors for seeing what can happen. And it might not go your way, right? It might be like, well, I guess they're not into anal, right? Or maybe we try again in a different way, right? Like, maybe you have the like girthiest cock ever, or your dildo's too big, the dildo you bought, and they're like, no, thank you. Or maybe it's not their thing. Maybe it brings up too much trauma for them, right? Maybe it's whatever that is, and they're no. But that step of making it this ongoing, and that can be fun too. Let's go listen to podcasts about anal sex and talk to each other about it. And I'll stop talking, but if you want the next steps, I have those too.
Well, on that note, I was, this was just on my timeline, on X, on Twitter. I'm scrolling.
It was an accident. He was not looking for
This
it.
is not intentional. I wasn't looking at anything. This was on this, I don't know, one of Musk's algorithms. Just,
I can't believe Musk did this.
Yeah, I
Oh my
can't believe.
God.
But it was it was an interview with a porn actress, very beautiful porn actress, and she was talking about how she was like, hey, in preparation for my anal scene, I had to do I did an enema, I did a prep basically.
Yes.
So what is that?
Okay, so thank you so much for saying that. Even though Elon Musk.
Elon Musk targeted me with that. I had no idea why it was showing up.
And also, that is very useful information, because we at Shameless Sex, April 9, we know a lot of porn stars, right? Or porn performers. We know a lot of women and men who do anal scenes and get paid to do it. And the ones we know, they love it, right? But they do it their way. They don't experience the pain. They understand the discomfort when it takes time for the muscle to open up. No one is pressuring them to like go too far. And then once you get through the discomfort part, then all of a sudden it can be like Pleasure Town on steroids, whether you own a cock or a pussy. And so for porn stars or porn performers, I respect them so much. By the way, they are athletes. They are sexual athletes, especially when it comes to anal scenes, vaginal, whatever they are doing. Whenever you watch porn, and if the scene is over like 20 minutes, you should look at them as if they're in the fucking Olympics.
It's
because
amazing.
they're like, and they're actually even showing that they're sweating. They're well trained. And they're also well trained generally with their genitals. And I identify it not as a porn performer, but as someone who is well trained with my genitals, because I've spent a lot of time trying to understand them, primarily because I didn't. And that felt problematic for me. And it wasn't because other people like, you need to learn how to do anal. Did this with my pussy too, right? Like I've had to spend a lot of time, not had to, thank you. I've learned a lot and practiced a lot with 5 million partners. Just kidding. That's not true. I only had penetrative sex with 39 people, and I just turned 40. So I think I should have one every year, by the way. Back to the question. Porn is not your teacher. Porn is your entertainer. Porn it can inspire you. Be like, oh, that's kind of hot. Like maybe I'd like to try this. But the way, especially going to anal, right? The way they are doing anal, like you said, they did an enema. A lot of times the receiver doesn't eat for 24 to 48 hours before. So there's no poop. There's no, like, whatever is happening. There's no, the color of the excretion,
Virtual
whatever.
abortion.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yes. And that's not always what you need to do, by the way. I've had plenty of hot, deep anal where there was no, fragments of the nasties. And I've had hot, deep anal where there was. And so I think that is a good tip. If you are super worried about how you'll respond, like, what if there's poop there? Yeah, do an enema and maybe like don't eat for, I'd say, like 6 to 8 hours. Depends on your digestion. Like my body is a little slower, but if you're like if your digestion is really quick, it would probably be more like 3 hours. And don't eat like spicy food or Indian food or whatever Thai food. I love Thai food, but Thai foods, no spicy. Okay, everyone. And so enemas, I think people confuse enemas with douches, by the way. So enemas are something that pushes water beyond, so through your anal canal into your rectum and also into your colon. Douches just are like kind of those squeezy bottles that go through the anal canal and just in your rectum. And I think most people could just do, if they're kind of a little type A about the poop factor. Also, if you're having sex with someone else, that's like, if I see poop, I'm gonna freak the fuck out. I'd say just don't have anal sex with them, honestly. That's what I would say. But then you can use one of the squeezy bottles that is, you can buy them at the drugstore. We sell them at purepleasureshop.com. Inaros makes an amazing one that is just silicone. You put a little water in it, add saline though, or salt. Because if you are dehydrated and you squeegee that in your ass, y'all know, doctors, that's a mucous membrane. It will absorb that water and you will feel bloated. So you salt, electrolytes, hydration, squeegee that in, and then you expel it out. And it's probably not just going to be one round. If you want to be all squeaky clean, you do like 2 to 3. And then, you do that, and then you can go and have your anal. And I'd say still be okay if the things happen. And talk to your partners. Like, what if this happens? Are we going to lose our fucking shit? See what I did there? Is there a shower right there? Like, we see some things, like just jump in there, lay down a black towel, lay down one of those waterproof blankets, preferably a black color of some sort. But like, poop can happen during anal sex, and if you know your body well and you don't feel like bloated and you had some good bowel movements at some point recently, then it's really not that likely.
Nice.
Wah, wah.
I mean, no, listen, it all makes sense. And I think I've learned some notes. Kevin's definitely writing some stuff down. I see his pen and paper
he's
right
like,
over there.
just
Just all up in here.
But I do think, like, I want to pivot a little bit to a little bit outside of anal, where almost the gatekeeper for people who maybe are not as ready to do anal play, where we're talking about the perineum. We're talking about the perineum, the gooch, also known as the nacho balls, nacho ass.
Yes.
The ABC, the ass ball connection. So tell us about the perineal play and how perineal play can be something that people can engage with a partner in.
Yeah, so I think that the gooch, the taint, the ABC, that's a new one for me.
That's a new one. Yeah.
You didn't know about it?
No.
Oh,
No, I've never heard anyone call it the ABC. Never.
Thank you, Justin.
I think that was like when I was 12 years old. I was calling it the ABC.
Or the hippies say the K spot, the Kundalini spot, because it's like, that part, that's your first chakra, is where like the Kundalini rising can come from. Which I will say, I'm a hippie hybrid. I don't teach tantra because it freaks me out, but I I believe in the fact that like this is such a vulnerable space that it could be so powerful, and that's why it needs so much time, love, care, blah blah blah. So the gooch, the taint, the part between the perineum and the balls, or sorry, the perineum, sorry, the balls and the asshole, and also women have their own variation of too, but it's generally quite smaller. And I think it's a good like foreplay warm up spot, and I still like, to me at least, my understanding is the jury is still out as to how effective it can be to press into, massage, stimulate the perineum to have an indirect experience through the anal canal and the prostate. I believe that it's true. And it's not just based on my own personal research, because I've tried it a lot of times, but I I think, and I actually, I know it's your interview. My understanding is the prostate is not like too far, but it's like a finger's length back between the bladder and the rectum. So when you're pressing into the perineum, I think of it as like foreplay for anal stuff. More like, we're gonna maybe get to your asshole if you're into it, as opposed to like, I'm going to get to your prostate from this spot. What do you guys think,
Kevin?
Justin.
All right. Well, I think that, there's a lot of sex toys that stimulate the perineum, and I think it is
Right.
because there is a very thin space between your perineum and that prostate area, right? I think you're pretty right. There's a lot of vibratory sex toys, that can stimulate the perineum with, I think, the goal, if it's stimulated enough, to potentially impact the prostate. But we also know that the perineum is incredibly innervated. There are so many nerves because it's, as the ABC, you have your genitalia on both, male and female, right?
you have
You have
balls and
genitalia
asshole?
and
I mean, that's a
asshole, which are
lot.
two of the most innervated areas,
Yeah.
and they are kind of having that crossover. So it's an incredibly sensitive area, even if you don't have a prostate, right? So I do think that there's a lot of ways in which you can utilize that area to be stimulated. And I think a lot of times with oral sex, whether you are whoever you're performing on, a little tongue or kiss or whatever it may be on that area, there's an overlap, and I think people always enjoy it. And I think that that is part of maybe that gateway for a lot of people of continuing to go down if you
Yeah.
want
Yeah,
to
it's like
do it.
layering. You're
Right.
layering. Yeah, you're starting at the top, you're like making your way down. And I also love when people just as they're touching bodies, right? Or like, at least for me as a receiver, it's like you don't, we've never done a thing, right? So maybe you're on my perineum, like your tongue is, and maybe your intention is like to get to my asshole, but you're asking me like, how does this feel? Is this okay? More pressure, less pressure? And if I'm like, oh yes, I really like this, and then you go a little further, but you ask me, you don't just like go there and like just do the thing. You're like, how's this? More, less, how is this? If I'm like, I like there's a lot, yes, more of that. And then that could turn into like, I need your fucking rock hard cock or dildo in my ass right now. But and I always think of anal as more of a commitment, right? Like quickie anal. I mean, doable, I'm sure. I know, and I have friends in the gay community that would agree with this. And they know their bodies. They know how to prep their bodies. There's a whole, and that's why we should actually be learning about anal from a lot of gay men in the world, whether you have a pussy or a cock. And in the meantime, like layering it from moving from the brain, like how do I connect with you, to the rest of the body, like foreplay, connection, relaxation, to like, now we're in your genitals. That's not your ass. Like, let's get that warmed up. And then perineum, we're slowly making our way. We're getting closer, and we're checking in along the way. And just also, like Kevin said, right? Like, now we're on the outside. Well, you're saying that more for patients, but like, we're right here, like, let's take some breaths. And the last thing I want to add, to just like a really important tip that I don't know if you guys can do as doctors, but would be really smart and helpful, and is really helpful for anyone being penetrated anally, is to, of course, take deep breaths, but bear down. You push out, like you're trying to push whatever is going inside of you out of your body, like you're trying to pee or you're trying to poop or you're trying to like your whole everyone listening right now, like, I know you guys are doing it right now. You're trying to like it's the bottom layer of a Kegel, right? It's when the
Right.
Kegel exercises go to the basement, and that actually opens up your muscles. And only do this if you want things inside of you, but it opens up your muscles, the sphincter muscle, and you have 2 layers, blah blah blah, and then it's easier for it to go inside, and it's super helpful. I just don't think you can say that to your patients. But
So actually, we actually actually
He's shocked for like
Amy,
the first time.
you're gonna love this.
You just shocked her.
You're gonna love this,
Yes!
Amy. You're gonna love this. Actually, so we do transrectal ultrasounds, and it's analogous. Like it's almost like a mini dildo. All right, it essentially is.
I bet. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so that whatever you just said there is exactly what I tell patients who are fighting it. I go
Yeah.
like, hey, look, like just fully relax, like you're just like finishing up in the bathroom or something, just relax.
Yeah.
And that's usually kind of when it just passes that anal verge, and the patients are really able to kind of then, you know.
It opens up the muscle, but it's so counterintuitive. It's like, it sounds
Right.
so backwards. And again, we're saying this about like consent as well. And you know, with
Right.
so this is consensual. I'm not judging you at all. Good for you for knowing that. Oh wow. Okay, Dr. Cohen too. Okay. You too, Doobie. April and I didn't know about this for so many years. Like I want to get into how I inspired her to finally have anal sex in 2014. That's a different story. But
I love that.
not
you know
together.
Exactly.
It's in our calendar, her anal anniversary, every January or something. But it's when you're at that point. But there's what we're saying here is there's so many pieces that are important to even get to that point.
Yeah.
To get to the like, okay, I'm ready for you to have something inside of me, whether it's a finger, dildo, or homegrown cock. So this is like, a more advanced tip to like bear down, and it will still, when you bear down, when you like push down, like you're pushing your genitals towards the ground or the couch or wherever you are, it opens up, but that person is still not forcing it in. There's still anal sex, and I think all penetrative sex is this continued back and forth, like, like what's working for you, what's working for me, and anal is just it needs more attention than vaginal sex, and vaginal sex still needs a shit ton of attention, but it needs more. And when you have it, you can have mind-blowing orgasms, multiple orgasms. You can have the orgasm that sends you to another planet, and it's happening for 15 minutes, and you don't know if it's like 15 different orgasms or one long one, whether you have a pussy or a cock. And it's not guaranteed, but it is an avenue to get there.
I need a cigarette, Lord.
Yes.
That sounds good. That sounds real good.
The anus, y'all. It's like the universal orifice, full of magic, very sensitive, but you have to treat it right. Otherwise,
we're getting close to the end of this conversation, but I'm just going to kind of leave it on this note. It's bringing back this thing. My really good, very great homosexual friend from back in college, Andrew, if he's listening to this.
Andrew.
But I'll tell you the one thing he told me about, because I'll be like, oh, so what is it? Anal sex, like, it feels good, huh? He's like, it's. He just looked at me. He's like, it's better than any crap you're ever gonna take, because that sensation of like just I don't even know. And I was just like, what? And that's that's all.
Okay, I'm gonna go there with you. And I've never ever done this on a podcast before. Because I've been like, oh, this is kind of like a little like nasty, dirty, naughty thought. Because you said it right. It's better than any crap you've ever taken. Anyone listening, you have that best poop ever, where it almost was, you're like, oh. It's like almost like not, maybe it's not orgasmic, right? But it's like, and it's a short experience, right? But it's, you're like, there's something in you like, this feels really good. And I know it's nasty, we're talking about poop, but we're being realistic. And so I'd say really good anal sex is like that, like what your friend said. but can be that for an extended period of time.
Always having the best poop of your life.
Damn it, Justin! Why'd you have to say it?
If you
But
explain
I mean,
that
come
to a
on.
guy in those terms, literally, if you were like, yo, anal sex is literally having the best poop of your life for a prolonged period of time, I think every dude's about to do anal sex.
I did too. I mean, you sold me on it already. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's how you get to guys
Yeah.
right there. That is like, man, that is so funny. I think we
And
have
you're like,
to
you're
end
not
on that.
gay. And your gay friend said that, but like, it doesn't make you gay. And just
Right.
envision like all the orgasms, speaking of penis owners, all the orgasms you've had. If you choose to do anal sex, no pressure, whether it's a dildo or whatever, you could feel like you're having the best crap of your life for an extended period of time. That's like not a good selling point. It's just like you could have
I
these.
think it's a great selling
Okay.
point. I think it's the all-time
Okay.
selling point.
All right, good,
Guys
because it
just
landed
talk
for me.
about taking poops all the time.
yeah.
I mean, this is literally you stumbled into a wheelhouse that you have no idea, like guy talk.
It was funny when I was saying this too after Kevin said what he said, and I was saying this part, and then you both were like, "Yeah, right." Like we all know when you have that
I
experience.
guarantee you, the listeners, every dude who heard that, they just started nodding
They were
their
like,
head.
yeah.
Exactly. Like,
Well, and
like,
also
oh,
here's the other
shit.
thing: every woman too, because
Yeah,
we
right.
also have an
Right.
ass.
All right. Well, I think that's a perfect way to end this. Amy, just tell us a little bit of where our listeners can find you. Anything else that we need to know, because this was wonderful. We always love having you on.
Thank you so much. I'm trying to take things very seriously now after the poop conversation. Hi, Amy Baldwin again. Okay, Shameless Sex, the podcast. We've been around since 2017. It's usually myself and April. She's one of my best friends. I'm one of her best friends. And we do weekly episodes. We never miss a week. We have over 400 episodes. So we release every Tuesday. Sometimes we release about anal, especially August, because it's anal August. And we are passionate about teaching people about relationships, communication, sexuality, and helping people to just discover who they are based on who they should be in their own world, like they think they are and should be, and not what we say. And consent is always important. Go to shamelesssex.com. You can find us online on all the social media outlets, Shameless Sex Podcast. We have events coming up. I don't know when this is coming out, but in May 2025, we have a number of events happening in Dallas, Austin, and Santa Cruz, California. And come find us. And I just love you guys so much.
We love having you.
Oh, we love you.
Yeah. So, guys, thanks as always for listening. We love having Amy on, and Amy and April will also join us again for sure in the near future. As always, download, subscribe, give us a review on all podcasting platforms. You can find us on YouTube as well. Please subscribe. This was a great one to watch on YouTube. There was a lot of interaction with our bodies and our faces, and it was a fun one. So, thanks as always for listening. Until next time, have a good one.